Hey there, and welcome. Today we're going to dive into a really powerful framework for turning what you know into actual, tangible wealth. In an age where AI is changing everything, this isn't just a cool idea anymore. It's becoming a necessity. So let's get right into it.
Okay, we're kicking things off with a pretty shocking statement from our source material. The whole argument here is that as AI gets smarter and smarter, the value of just knowing stuff is basically heading towards zero. This creates this incredible urgency to rethink how we package what we do before it just becomes a commodity that anyone can get for free.
And that leads us straight into the core problem, which our source calls the knowledge worker's dilemma. So here's the deal. If you're a professional, the most valuable thing you have is your unique ability to get results. But for almost everyone, that knowledge is just trapped. It's stuck inside your head, forcing you to trade your time directly for money. You physically have to be there to use what you know.
And this really shows you what a huge difference a little packaging can make. The source brings up a Harvard Business Review study that found consultants often make twice as much as regular employees with similar experience. So what's the secret? It's simple. They've started to package their knowledge instead of just selling their time.
Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the solution? Well, it all starts with a process for turning your knowledge into what's called capital.
And here it is. This is the heart of the framework from our source. It's a simple three-step process. You start with your raw knowledge, you transform it into structured intellectual capital, and then finally, you package that into sellable information products. This is the roadmap for everything else we're going to talk about.
So, first things first, let's be super clear on what we mean by knowledge here. This isn't just about facts you can look up on Wikipedia. It's the capacity for effective action. It's the jumbled up know-how in your head that lets you consistently produce a result, whether that's baking a perfect cake or building a complex spreadsheet.
Now, to really get the difference, our source uses this fantastic analogy. Think of all that raw, disorganized knowledge in your head as gunpowder. It's got potential, for sure, but by itself, it just sits there. Intellectual capital, on the other hand, is that same gunpowder packed neatly into a bullet. Now it's focused, it's structured, and it's ready to make a real impact.
Right? Having a warehouse full of gunpowder or a head full of knowledge doesn't actually make you powerful in the real world. According to the source, you only become truly effective or dangerous, as they say, when you've actually structured that knowledge into something you can deploy, when you have bullets.
But, and this is a big but, turning that knowledge into intellectual capital isn't so easy. There's a very specific kind of invisible barrier that stops most people from ever even trying. Okay, take a look at this number, 6.5 millimeters. It doesn't seem like much, does it? But believe it or not, our source argues this tiny measurement represents the single biggest thing standing between you and creating wealth from your expertise.
So, any guesses? What could this possibly be?
And here you have it. That 6.5 millimeters is the average thickness of a human skull. Our source calls this the skull barrier, that physical container that keeps all of your valuable, messy knowledge locked up inside your head.
And the implication of that is huge. Because your knowledge is literally trapped inside your body, the only way for it to get out is by you speaking or typing. That's it. This is what forces you to be physically present to deliver value, tying your income directly to your location and your time, the exact model that AI is about to turn completely upside down. So once you've managed to organize your knowledge into intellectual capital, you're finally ready for the last step, turning that structure into something real, something tangible that people can actually buy.
Think about it like you're constructing a skyscraper. Your intellectual capital is the steel frame. It's the essential underlying structure. But you can't sell a steel frame, right? The information product is the finished building. It's the complete, valuable asset that people can walk into and actually use.
And these finished buildings can look like all sorts of things. It could be an ebook, a video course, maybe even a custom GPT you've built, an app, a workflow, a blueprint. The list goes on and on. Each one of these is just a different format for packaging your expertise so it can work for you even when you're sleeping. At the end of the day, an information product is really just the user interface for your expertise. Our source makes this great comparison to Steve Jobs, who was absolutely obsessed with making complex technology feel simple and intuitive. Your goal is exactly the same. Create a beautiful, easy-to-use interface for your knowledge so anyone can access it. Okay, so let's bring this all home. Let's look at what the ultimate outcome of following this path really is.
Our source draws a very blunt line in the sand here. There are two paths.
With an information product, your work can be sold 1,000,000 times over, creating basically limitless income potential. The other path, the traditional one, well, the source just calls that for losers, where your income is always capped by the hours you can physically work.
And that leaves us with one final, really important question to think about. After seeing this whole framework, you just have to ask yourself, what valuable knowledge, what potential for incredible wealth is currently trapped inside your head, just waiting for you to structure it and share it with the world?